the entire time. This is just stupid. Oops. Man, that was annoying. What is up? It's your boy Johnny Shrevive, BB Promos. To tell like it is, we are live in a room full of nobody. And we're going to wait for people to get here and we're going to start chatting about all things fitness related. I guess right now I could just do one of those things where I just kind of chat with myself and, you know, say what's going on in my life and what's new, I would say. Maybe some other cool topics like the Mr. Olympia coming up. Who's your favorite? Who I think is going to win? Football season's coming up. Did you talk about that? I don't know. Do we? But also, I don't think this is even live. I mean, this is private. So now it's public. What is up, it's your boy Johnny Shrevive, BB Promos. It's like it is. Didn't realize this was on private. So for a minute, I've been chatting privately, and it's actually taken me 20 minutes to figure out how to go live, which is annoying because I've done this a million times before. And here we are. So let's just wait a bit. Maybe we'll get some notifications out to the people. We have 2 so far. Awesome. Once you get on in, let's start chatting away. Click so freaking fast. Right. Cool. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I want to wait a bit before we really start chatting, and I want to make sure a lot of people are in here first before I really kind of start diving in. So we'll just give it a couple minutes. You guys want to chat right now, you know? Yeah, fast light. Always come. So click so freaking fast. Look who's up already. Can't wait to get home. Oh, Kim, nice. What's up, buddy? Greg's a joke. Faster than last time. 31 already. 31. 31 what? What's up? Bro famous. Not me. What did old Greg do this time? You have not been caught up to speed. Which means if you don't know what's going on right now, that means you've been doing a good job in avoiding the drama, the fitness drama. For me personally, this was the last straw for Greg. I've overlooked a lot of his crap, but this time I want to tune him in because, like, and you know what? I am okay to jump on here and be very transparent. And I already know, like, there's a lot of things that I know when it comes to, you know, what to expect when we're talking about this topic. You know, Greg Hussein, Hussain, his name is, whatever. So I know that if the answers I give, and I'll give them very honestly, I know that I'm going to have some kind of backlash in a sense, but I think that's why I like doing these lives. Not many people do lives because it's easier to, you know, just say what you need to say, and then you mess up, you edit it, and then it's like, oh shoot. So I like doing these lives because it kind of gives more context for me to you guys, so you can see me. I'm not like sitting there trying to think about an answer to give you. You know, so we'll wait a little longer. People get in here, and then but yeah, I'm gonna wait to give you my opinion. Some people ask me, how do I really feel? Like, what do I think about Hussein's natty status, whatever? I'll answer that 100%. And understand this: none of my. I'll give you an update on what's going on with myself and Greg. So it just gives us more context. Because there's always, every time there's a conversation, there's this kind of a topic that's going on, and I give my honest answer. There's always a handful of people who are like, you're just sticking up for Greg, which I understand that because I will say back in the day when things were kind of really booming, when it was channels when it was growing, I was doing a lot of backing up Greg and 100%. I was a buddy of mine and stuff, and most of the time then. There's things that I just had to stick up for because I knew the truth when it came to what was going on in his life at that time. So yes, I understand people now will be like, you're just good for Greg, but it's like none of the things I'm going to say have anything to do with Greg influencing anything at all. But my goal for this conversation is to literally have an actual, conversation with you guys about some of the topics I think I have in there. If you guys see my comment or my community post, just chat about the whole, the aftermath of this whole thing with Greg and Hussein. Chat about, what I feel about, his natural status, etc. And then, and whatever else we get into. So we're gonna do this we'll give about an hour and a half. I'm sure we all have things to do, so we're gonna just chop it up. So let me go through these comments first, and so hold on. If you're eager to say how you feel, just give it a bit so I can keep up with the comments that are coming in. So I'm gonna wrap it off from the top, going down. I'm gonna look at the questions. Well, I'm just gonna read off the comments. What's up, everyone? Hey, Johnny. Honestly, in this whole Hussein situation, your perspective I've been looking forward to the most. Appreciate that, man. What's all this what's all the ruckus noise about Hussein? Yeah. Get up to speed, Kim. Just turn on, just get off this right now or go on your phone and check it out. You'll probably see enough things about it. People are getting tired of being Greg Greg-lighted. Greg. Okay, guys. Before I move on, guys, listen. I swear to God, before we move on, I had this thought, and I'm gonna say it because I feel like it's gonna happen. And I don't know why I thought of this, but like trolls. When I talk about trolls or like in the comment section, trolls in the comment section or whatever it is, there's comments that make me just laugh. I'm like, that is clever as shit. That's hilarious. And I'm like, how do we not have popular trolls? You know what I'm saying? Like the guys that are like just have like these like knock out of the park comments that you read and you're like, you've seen them. You guys been on posts before. There's like some kind of a meme or post or whatever, and then you go right to the comment section, and then there's like a few of them that are just like, you're on the floor like laughing. I was like the other day, I was like, I'm surprised there's not a group or like popular trolls that like even like even you would like post something on purpose so they would go and troll you. You know what I mean? Or I'm just saying, because I read comments and I'm just like, it's hilarious. That's clever as shit. Makes sense. But then it's like, how do we not have, like, oh man, it's keyboard warrior 6ix9ine. He's hilarious, or she's whatever, like, right? I thought I'd bring that up. That's my brain. Anyway, people are definitely tired of being Greg-lighted, gaslighted. It's hilarious. And we'll chat about that every time. Everything's fair in business till it's not illegal. Let's not judge morality. Yes, let's go. I like that. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to much of anything. If anything, I just lift heavy circles, work, eat, make single moms. All right, cool, man. Greg-lighted is such a good term. That is, I gotta be like, look, Greg will laugh at that. That's that's epic. It's all a joke. Personally, I think he's natural, though. We'll talk about that, man. We'll talk about that. I have some same build genetics. Been training for 6 years, and I don't even take creatine. I guess I should start my own channel. Maybe should, and we'll talk about that too. There's a reason why I believe what I believe about Hussein, and when you hear my take, you're gonna be like, it makes sense. Because I think sometimes we glaze over it, and we glazed over a couple things about Hussein. But also, GVS made a really good post on his video. I watched it today. I was like, oh, that's so you got he did some homework, and I was like, he nailed all the reasons why I'm not a fan of Hussein. And I said the same thing to Greg. I was like, Greg, I don't know Hussein as a person, but like I only like when I played football, like you can only judge the person for how they played ball, right? If the guy was an absolute dick, didn't matter, because if he was on the field and if he was a dick but he was making plays, he was like, you're gonna play, you can play ball, you're awesome, right? But so I do the same thing when it comes to like stuff like this. It's like, yeah, I don't know you as a person, but what you're portraying, the character that you're portraying, I don't like. I like that character, right? I don't portray a character. It's me. A lot of people when they meet me and stuff like, oh my god, it's like talking to you normally. It's like, yeah, it's easier that way. I just turn on the camera. I'm myself. I'm gonna morph into something, and then not gonna worry about maintaining that or sustaining that for years on end. Because it's like once you start acting normal, it's like people are like, your normal sucks, right? So Greg Lighted, awesome. Tanner Shuck made a great upload on Greg Hussein ordeal. Legend made an upload too. I gotta check the one out. It's all a joke. I saw it already. Why do all these youngsters got the broccoli? I hate the broccoli hair. It's like you appreciate. I gotta go down. Let me get that comment real quick. I appreciate that because number one, that comment. It's like a style for people that think it's a style, but it's just like covering up laziness. It's almost like, I skip breakfast, but I say everybody I'm intermittent fasting. That was a joke, but either way, we got a comment down here. Your advice has helped me more than anyone else on YouTube. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. I appreciate you always keeping it real and not selling your morals out. I appreciate that, dude. I really do. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit on some high and mighty, mountain like my morals. I'll never go against my morals type thing. But when it comes down to it, I don't think people are going against their morals. I think when it comes to public perception and when you're on a platform like this, we have to be careful of how we deliver anything, because this is probably the most real we can get to get from your perspective and seeing me, because it's unedited. We're gonna chat. I don't have any cue cards here to look at. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, there's not much context that's missed when it comes to this. But if the comments I'm reading, I can miss all the context in the world because it's a text, right? So when you have videos that are done and they're fully edited, when you give somebody I'll give an editor a 20-minute video might be an hour worth of footage, which is bad on my part, but it gets condensed. So you lose a lot of what you're trying to say, and then you're leaving up to editors to kind of put the stories together. So I don't know if people really. I think some people do consciously are F that. I'm trying to get the bag. Fuck this. You know what I mean? And I think for some people they're in the game for so long that they just they just kind of roll into things without really thinking too much. Because this entire situation, to be honest, and I chat with Greg, and this is look, when I'll tell you the exact story that would happen, because I had two videos literally when I said this in my story. I had a video I did it fully done about Greg and the Jeff Nipper part. Then I was gonna do another video right after that, and then my client sent me a video, and he sent me this, whole thing, and I looked at it, I'm like, he's got to be trolling. So instead of me jumping on jumping and be like, let's do a video, right? I messaged him, we did the voice to text thing, and I'm, literally chat with him like, yo, this is you trolling or what, And he was like, do you think I would do a video? Would you think I would do that for so-and-so amount of video, whatever it was, like a view video comment, one of those comments. And I'm like, English Greg, are you trolling or what? He's like, and then he voiced the text. And if you could hear back end of conversations that I have with Greg, I've known this guy for years. So when I hear him talk, and we're chatting about stuff, I know what he's trying to say, and what he's trying to do. I live with the dude, right? So the intention I see a lot when Greg does stuff, and then because I literally said the same thing saying to you guys. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna go over well at all. I understand your intention is to prove, for instance, guys, if you don't like me, if someone doesn't like me, they've made their mind up, right? You're either gonna like somebody or not, right? You'll have the reasons of why you don't like somebody. And for all measure, really, it's everyone has a right to have their reasons, right? I could have said something, did something, F with their favorite influencer or whatever it is, and they can make up their mind about me. But my goal when it comes to going online is not really to prove to anybody, it's not to prove anyone wrong. It's to give information, and if you want to hear it, great. If you don't, all right, cool, great. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to this whole thing, I was like, I understand this is something that you are trying to do, but it's not going to go over well. You don't have this squeaky clean, track record of, a person like you can't do this experiment. You know what I mean? So the people are going to make their mind about you no matter what. And so when he did it, I was like, I get it. But for most people who don't know Greg, they're like, he's tried to prank everybody, he screwed up. And I see both sides. I 100% see it, because I literally saw this. I saw all of this aftermath when I was telling Greg about it. I was like, not a good idea. So, you know, when it comes down to it, it's like there's a lot of context that's missed in all of this. And like I told Greg, you have to be careful of how you put things out, right? And I'll get on that example when it comes to like Hussain. I'm gonna go see more comments and we'll keep going here. I don't know if I answered anyone's question, but either way. Y'all comment in with the questions. Wow, Greg was already. Greg liked this. Awesome. Dr. Greg and Dr. Mike are just thing. Right. Greg in the modern day is a modern day what? I just missed that. Get out of here yourself. Is modern day Richard Simmons? Yikes. Yo, that's it. You, Johnny B, are either my age or older. He should not have posted what he did on Scott Herman's. He shouldn't have. That was straight up deceptive. So that's the thing too. That's one of the parts that's part of this whole thing that I was like, doing this whole prank, whatever it was, would have been better had he have not even have posted in Scott Herman's thing at all. But then not only posted, but kind of like he almost like went on to, you know, creating the scene more than he had to. Like when he was explaining what was going on, like he was like, yeah, man, he was like on like, yo, this is gonna be a good idea. Like we need to, you know, we really need to, prove these guys, you know, if they're gonna hate anyway, blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, but you already started misleading them in the first place, right? And then like the whole thing with like, you know, what's her name, the scientific snitch, and then also like Jeff. There's too many strays. There's too many people getting hit by strays before the whole prank thing could come out. So it'd be a lot better, 100%, if it was like there was no post. It just came out. It was out of the blue. It was out of the blue. It would probably 100% be received way better, 100%. So yeah, so that's a lot. No wonder Remington disappeared from YouTube and social media. Somebody explained that to me. He should not have posted. He should not have done that. Percy, I was subscribed to Greg and didn't mind some uploads and defending Hussain, but the lying at the lying. See, here's the thing too, and here's what I'll chime in about like what I believe in terms of like his natural status. Okay, the biggest issue when it comes down to it obviously is like perceptions of reality, right? There's a number one. I believe Hussein's natural. Shoot me, right? Let me explain first before you guys get your panties in a twist, right? Hussain didn't just like pop. Hussein's not like what's his name, Mike O'Hearn, or who's the brother, man? He's a simian panda. He's not a simian panda. He didn't just, like simian panda kind of like, you saw this guy kind of in the industry, then he just didn't get worse, something like that. Hussain is let's talk Hussein's part. Number one, Hussein's part is this. He was natural, right? I still believe he's natural. He was a gamer. He was a gamer, didn't do anything, sit on his ass, played video, like out of shape. He went from 0 to training a lot. Okay. That happened. When I made a point about like genetics and being like on a spectrum, I think he has some pretty good genetics. Do I think he has superior 1 in a million genetics? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. I think the whole wow and the bullshit happened is this. And I said this before in a video. The Natty or Not culture has been exacerbated in such a way that it's been almost like drilled in some of you guys' heads that some things are not achievable natural. And I can say, watching YouTube for a while and being on this platform for a while, it was more until like Greg Doucette, sorry, dude, but it was more of Greg Doucette's way of how he would deliver Natty or Not stuff. So when you have a leader in the industry that is like, I'm right 99% of the time, right, that kind of stuff. Where like I have laser eye vision, right? I am correct all the time, and most time when it comes to like fitness stuff, he is correct. But when you have a large audience who are on this platform that are looking for direction, knowledge, et cetera, they look at this dude and he's coming out and he's bold to call out some of these guys. You're like, wait a minute. And some of the guys he calls, like the first one of the big ones was what's his name, The Rock. He called The Rock and Mark Wahlberg out, right? And even though it's still speculation, there's glaring obvious. It's like, yes, the dude's on The Rock's on steroids. He's a fucking wrestler. Let's not be stupid, right? So that blew up, right? And so everyone's like, oh man, this guy called out The Rock, big guys, right? And he's calling everybody. I knew he was natural. So those guys, yeah, obviously, obviously, they're not natural. And then it gets into the people who are, and I believe this all the time. It gets to the place where now you're seeing guys that have really good physiques that can be achieved, but they can be achieved for that person with that specific, genetic ability, right? There's I grew up with, I've looked like this version of me. Obviously took steroids before, guys. Like bodybuilding and high school up to when I was 28 years old. I was a version of this my entire life. And in my surrounding of school back in Windsor, Ontario, Detroit area, like that area, there's athletes everywhere. I never thought I was special whatsoever at all. I was strong, but so were like 15 other dudes. I was fast, but I was like 4.45, 4.6, but dudes are doing 4.3s, and you know what I mean? My vert wasn't super good, but it was okay. But there was other guys who were a lot better than me, and I shine in my areas. But for me, it was like, I grew up around guys who were like, half of the people I grew up around, you guys would be like, there's no way in hell that guy's natural. And 100%, they were 100% natural. So it became, this whole thing starts to bleed into a guy like Greg, who's telling you guys what is achievable and what's not. And even though at the end of his videos, he would be like, it doesn't really matter what I think. It should be blah, blah, blah. But it's like you put a video up for that majority of the time, you're giving all the reasons why you think that they're not natural, right? So you have all these people thinking that, now it's if they're a good looking physique, they're not achievable, right? So you have that. Then you also have like Greg and other people saying, here's the way you could cheat tests. Here's the things you could probably take if you weren't on, you could take a clomiphene instead, or if you're on clomiphene. So it's like you have these like backup reasons of why you believe that person's not natural, because someone told you. You guys probably at one point have no clue what clomiphene was. The only reason why most of you guys know a lot of the terms because you guys watch YouTube, which you should, obviously, and you guys are on here to learn. So you're coming to this platform, and a guy like Greg and other people are saying, here's the way you can cheat your test. Here's the way you can, fake this. Here's what you probably would take if you want to get it out of this. Here's what you want to take if you don't want to be detected in a certain period of time. This place only tests this thing, and you could probably be taking this. So you have all these things like, oh yeah, if they're not taking this, here's the other things you could probably take. So now it's like you're reinforced into thinking that if this person looks really good and something that you don't see before, and that someone else has said that's a leader in this industry said, this person's probably on steroids. If I had a gun in my head and they said, hey man, what do you think they are? For me, I'd be like, natural. Like, so if you're only gonna shoot me if I don't tell the truth, right? So like even that analogy itself to me was like wild. It's like, wait, so if someone's holding a gun in your head and ask you if you think they're natural or not, and if someone had a gun in your head, it's like you just say the truth, right? Because if you're just saying I gotta say he's natural, I gotta say he's not natural, that means you're being influenced because of a gun to your head. That analogy just didn't make any sense to me. Either way, point I'm making is you have all of these videos that are coming out that about natural or not guys. Plus, like, I don't know how many people have actually came out and confirmed that they were natural or confirmed that they weren't, right? Like a couple. Take that part, right? So you have all that. And then you have a guy like Hussain, who is a nobody, right? Sorry, he had some people on TikTok. It doesn't mean fucking anything. Sorry. He's got a group of people on TikTok, whatever, right? He went from nothing to training. Can you do that in a certain period of time? I'm literally thought in my mind would be a really cool experiment. Would be like anybody who's just starting their journey, who's like young, let me train them for 16 months or something. Just let me do it, and let's do an experiment so I can prove that you could actually do that to an extent. Now, I say to an extent because of this. His role in this, right? The deception for me isn't the deception aligned to you guys about what he's on. Deception for me, and it's still speculation, is how he presents himself as a natural, right? I say this because everyone's whatever. As a natural athlete, plus how he tells his story of how, where his journey in being natural. Here's what I mean. He goes, I don't believe that he put on that much weight, right? Like, how many people, this is a teenager turned into, young man. How many people actually do understand how to measure the difference between your actual weight or lean muscle mass, lean body mass, blah, 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 right? Not many. And what are you going on? Oh, I'm going to use so when he first started, did he use a DEXA scan? Those aren't accurate, right? Did he use an in-body? Those are definitely not accurate. Is someone doing caliper tests? So how do we know that the first poundage that he put on was lean muscle tissue? We don't. We actually don't. And I don't think it's accurate either. So when someone says, yeah, my first 18 months, I put on 60 pounds, it's like you probably did. And I guarantee half that was fat, or fat, water, and muscle, all that together, right? So when I look at this, I don't believe his physique is unachievable for someone that has genetics as good as his, right? Let's say this. I would say if we're on a spectrum of superior genetics in terms of physical, get on the Olympian stage, lights out genetics, and sorry for it, man, blame your parents. I'm saying Hussain is in teeter-totting, in the middle. Reason why I say that is a majority of people in the world don't have really great physical, muscular genetics, right? But I'm also saying that because he's got no legs. He's got 0 legs. He's a twig. He is a freaking twig. Sorry. He's a twig from the waist down. Number one. That was part of the other number ones, right? Apart from how he's telling his story in terms of his actual, first picture until his other ones, every one of his pictures they're all dolled up to the nth degree. They are structure is up to the max, right? He's structure, lighting, it's all that. You see this really shitty picture with his hair, and he's like this, he's like, and then you see the next one is him boom, in this perfect down lighting. And every picture he has that's promoting his physique is in this foolishly amazing lighting. On top of that, what GVS found out, well, he did a little research and really find out, because we all were just too lazy to actually scroll down his page. His Instagram page uses the same picture. I think GVS said 30 or 40 times. He reuses pictures. That to me is dishonest. To me, that's just, if I'm a coach, which I'm a coach, right? And when I put out before and after pictures, right? I first of all, I ask my client, say, can I use a picture for before and afters? Yes, you can. Cool. And they're the ones that you use in the app. So I'm not going to have someone send me a picture of their first one, and then I'm like, hey, by the way, can you get in some freaking sweet ass lighting of you bam, doing this? Is there's I have some, fully transformed ones, but you see the actual differences of a person changing. When you say, oh, I've made only a change in 16 months, and then you use the picture that is the best picture you've ever had and reuse that picture more than 30 some odd times and continue to use this old, no one knows what the timeline is when they have the same picture over and over and over again, right? And true naturals, when I say true naturals, what I mean true naturals is the guys who don't have to brag about them being natural, right? Naturals that are natural don't have to go around and be like, look at me, I'm natural, right? And I think that's one of the other big reasons is that he's cocky about his natural status. I do believe that he's natural, but I also believe that the way he goes about it is just he's bringing on all the attention, because I 100% believe when it comes to this whole industry that it's drama sells. So for a marketing standpoint, which I think is dishonest and stupid, it's I'm natural, but I'll get way more attention if they think I'm a fake natural. So you go down that road, and then it's oh, now I got a bunch of people saying that I'm a fake natty, man. I got to keep proving this and this, and then be oh, by the way, anyone, man, $500,000 if you. It's the most cocky shit ever. When it comes down to this kid, it's all of these things make him not believable to be natural. When I believe that I guarantee if anybody sat next to Hussain and looked at Hussain and was oh yeah, I mean, it's really not that, because you wouldn't have had how many times I've literally seen some of these guys online at expos. My first Olympia, when I was like, man, it's like before it's all magazines. My first Olympic I went to, I was like, holy shit! Like I was not expecting that person to be either that small or that big, right? So it's all deception. It's all deceiving. It's all manipulating. There's a lot of stuff that I believe 100% that is this deception and dishonesty of how Hussein presents his life makes him look like he's 100% a fake natty. That along with all the other things that are out there that people just cannot believe that to me that is and I'm honest guys, to me that is like a slap in the face to everybody out there to think that this physique is like like just only the best of the best can get this. Like it's like maybe someone who doesn't have the best genetics probably can't achieve what he's achieved. But again, what he's achieved for himself is the only thing that he can achieve for himself. And the probably reason why he's not making any more progress is because that's kind of it. Like he probably blew his load in the first couple of years of training or 3 years, whatever, right? So I stand on my word when I say Hussein, I believe, is natural because of all of those reasons. I think that 100% if you guys would be in person with his kid and you see him face to face, you'd be like, right? Like, especially you guys in the States, like a lot of you guys, some of you guys in your big schools, like your big cities that have, football players, hockey players, baseball players, like look at your varsity athletes for Pete's sake. Like I guarantee you can go in your school and you guys are, anyone's in high school that's watching this, or screw it, anybody who's went to high school in the United States, I'm pretty sure if you had a pretty good football team or a school that had pretty good, athletics, there's probably a bunch of Husseins, like better than Husseins running around. To be honest, Hussein looks like a couple receivers that I played with, right? Tall, lanky guys. What I'm saying. So talked a bit there. I want to see what I'm saying down here. Saying like, yeah, Johnny or whatever. Johnny, how do you explain how fast? So here. Thank you. So here's the other thing too. The problem with the timeline of this is, and let me expose. Yeah, it's probably exposed. I can speak for myself when I say this, but I know just for most people that you guys watch, myself, I'm probably one of the few guys that coach people in person and coach people from nothing to something and have done it for 2 decades straight. You know what I mean? So I've seen insane transformations happen in a 2-year span. 18 months, 2 years, it's like it's literally, I've seen that happen. The problem is like a lot of the guys who are explaining what's achievable in a certain amount of months, yeah, cool. There's obviously scientific or papers and literature that are on, not the actual anecdotal anything. It's usually just like sample size, et cetera, et cetera. Or they're done by people who don't coach people like I do. You know what I'm saying? So when they look at this, like that, I've never seen anyone make great change like that before. You take a guy that's skinny, who's doing absolutely nothing, like sitting on his ass doing F all, gaming. And he has, let me stop right there and give you a great example. There's when I would say during the vid, I put on this this athletic program. It was called Turning Athlete, Averaging an Athlete. It was World Gym Athletics, whatever. And I was coaching, like I was breaking down Olympic lifts. You're doing like almost like a CrossFit class. So doing like cleans and snatches and et cetera, et cetera. Athletic stuff, Olympic lifting stuff, right? So your normal person would join this class, right? And they're in their 30s, late 20s, 30s, 40s, and they go in and they walk in, and honestly, you're not thinking anything of them. You're like, this is a normal person, they probably don't play sports, whatever. There is a good handful of them that I was like, did you play sports before or anything like, at all, anything? And they'd be like, well, I played sports like, in high school for a couple of years, or, I was on the wrestling team back in, elementary school or whatever it was, or they haven't done anything at all. There's a big component about when it comes to genetics and like unlocking people's potential is literally environment. You guys can just go look on your own. Whenever you have time, look up like in how much environment influences genetic ability, right? For instance, people don't learn how to be genetically gifted. If you're musically inclined, it's something that you are genetically gifted with. if you're artistically inclined, it's something you're genetically gifted with. Same with athletics, same with strength, same with you don't just all of a sudden, oh, I learned how to be fast. You were always fast. You just had to be in an environment to make that whatever gene come out and and thrive. So if you have a guy that's sitting in, I don't know, some brother that's in the corner of Australia for some reason, and he's amazing at basketball, but he's never played basketball before. And then all of a sudden he's got to move to the States for somewhere, North America for some weird reason, or anywhere that plays basketball. And someone throws him a basketball, and he's like, boom, boom. And he's like, oh, cool. And all of a sudden, like in a month, the guy's freaking got handles. It takes environment. So a guy like him who's never done anything before, and you put him in an environment where he's training hard. This guy goes from doing nothing to creatine, food, blah, 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 right? That can actually happen. And again, I don't think that he's being honest about the actual weight gain that he had. That's the biggest thing about it. That's what I think he's lying about the most. Not his cycle, but by how much weight he actually gained. How many times have we caught people online say that they're a certain weight and they're not? Bodybuilders lie about the weight all the time. The weigh themselves after they're cardio with a sweaty hoodie, sweaty jersey, Jordans on, and like, oh yeah, I'm 310 pounds. Like, you're 300 pounds. Why are you lying about being 10 more extra pounds? You know what I mean? What are you guys saying? Bro has no legs. He gets 0 legs, guys. So I think like a combination of all this, and I'll go read these comments in a sec, guys. I think the combination of being arrogant about his natural status, probably deceiving about his actual timeline, right? Like, let's be serious. How many people are going to be completely honest about how much weight they've gained? What's crazy is if the guy said he gained 20 or 30 pounds the first year, would you believe him, right? Like, and the answer is probably going to be more leaning on the yes. If Hussain said, yeah, I only gained 30 pounds in the first 18 months, you guys would be like, oh yeah, man, he's definitely natural, because that's part of the variables and metrics that you can arbitrarily say someone's natural, but it's more believable. But it's not as impressive because no one's talking about you, because it's not impressive. But if I'm a kid who's a gamer who probably is, here's my backstory for Hussain, right? That I'm just making up right now. My guts may be telling me this. Hussain's a gamer, right? He's a gamer, right? That's what he says. I went from gamer to training, right? He's a gamer, and maybe he was a failed gamer. Maybe he just wanted attention, but he just couldn't get attention because he said he couldn't get attention from the girls. He wasn't getting dates, blah, blah, blah. He's just gaming, and he's getting no chicks and no views. And he's like, man, it sucks. And in between his Twitch sessions or whatever, he turns on YouTube and he's like, oh, it's Greg Doucette. He's doing another Natty or Not on a guy, and that guy's got a lot of followers now. Huh. No followers, no chicks gaming, or be accused of a fake natty. All right. Bam. And then he's like, I'm going to go do this. And I'm going to get some girls and I'm going to look better. Then he's like, 30 pounds of my first 18 months. That sounds terrible. That's not cool. That's not going to cause a ruckus. I'm going to say I gained 60 pounds. And he probably gained 30. I promise you that's more of the story. And and that story just isn't cool, right? Like when it comes, like when people lie about stuff, I think sometimes people lie and they don't really know. They in their mind, they think this is how the story is gonna go, right? I'm gonna go and do this. He probably was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get some girls, and he's gonna be like, I'm gonna get some girls, and I'm gonna get some more views online because I'm gonna start working out. And he's like, yeah, I only gained 30 pounds. Maybe I'll just say that I gained, 60. That won't do anything that much. Maybe, I don't know. And then he's like, oh shit, that went further than I thought it would be. Fuck, now one thinks I'm a fake natty. I don't know. Point is, I think he's lying about his actual, the weight that he actually gained. I think most people do anyway, or just get it wrong all of the time. Him boasting and bragging about being natural, and then always using the same pictures over and over again to be like, oh yeah, before and after. It's like, these are pictures you've used 30 plus times. Everyone attention, search for train guy, that's not what tells that. Jeff Never, I've been training for 2 decades. Also, Jeff, you look bigger than me. How long have been? So I coached Jeff in posing a decade ago. Jeff You guys probably saw online. Jeff has always. I don't. I should. I don't. I can't. They're his pictures. I would take pictures of Jeff. If I showed you pictures of just 10 years ago, you'd be like fake natty. But it wasn't cool then. Like it not like the whole natty stuff wasn't like popping off like it is now. Jeff was impressive 10 years ago, right? You guys don't. Some of you guys are coming in some of these stories late, and you're making your judgment 100% justified based on the story that you're being told right now. And there's a lot of backstory stuff that you guys don't know that you're making your mind upon. Now, guys, listen, you have all the reason to believe that he is a fake natty. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. When it comes down to it, it's still speculation on both of our parts, right? No, none of us are right, none of us are wrong. What we shouldn't do is be like, well, because you think he's natural, you're a fucking idiot and you lost your credibility. It's like, oh, I mean, if that was the case, like I should just all of my clients should fire me for getting them in great shape and taking them to, I would say, levels that people are like, you're a fake, right? Because that sometimes happens. Look, people that I coach. I'm coaching a guy right now who's doing a show in 5 weeks who looks 1,000 times better than him, like 1,000 times better than Hussain, and he's natural. And he made the transformation almost like the same, almost on the same timeline. Naturals don't be putting on a ton of muscle and then stop making gains. What are you talking about? So that's another thing that makes me that's kind of like weird when people say that. Naturals don't put on a bunch of muscle and then stop making gains. Okay, so the same people will say that when you do your first cycle, you're not going to have put on as much muscle as you can keep going, right? As you keep going, you just don't, right? So if you do your first cycle and you put on like 40 pounds, you're not putting on 40 pounds next cycle. My goal for my last like couple of years when I was competing was like, I want to hopefully gain around 5 to 7 pounds in the next year, 1 or 2 years, right? 2, you guys all think these guys actually train hard. You think that Hussain, you like that answer there, which is cool. I understand that. These are questions you should ask yourselves, right? How come he's not putting any more muscle? How come he's not putting more? Well, the guy who's always using the same picture over and over and over again, don't you think maybe he just doesn't have the actual work ethic? Like when I train people, there's people that I train, I'm like, you don't really train hard. You act like you train hard, but you don't actually train hard. Because when I train, if I took Hussain and trained with him, I promise you Hussain sounds like a Hussain back session, whatever. I believe it's all performance. It's performative. You don't go from gamer to like 100% fitness enthusiast turned coach. First of all, coaching, agree with Jeff with GVS. Anyone who starts coaching within a couple of years of them actually working out is like, what do you know? All you know is what's worked for you. How much real life experience do you have bringing somebody through a full? I'm not just talking about full transformation. I'm talking like a full transformation, and then that person who's transformed continue with that physique. I don't have full transformation. All of a sudden they drop off and they're fat again. I have full transformations that continue to make progress. Why? Because in the process of the first part of the transformation is instilling proper, training habits, nutritional habits, lifestyle habits. You think this guy, you think really like you guys think that because he's not making more progress is because he's peaked or that's because of some kind of steroid thing? No, it's probably because the guy doesn't actually train that hard or consistently train hard over and over and over. There is very few and far between that will train hard all of the time, consistently on a week-to-week basis. You guys, the thing is, you guys put so much credit you give this guy way too much credit, and you're also making you're dropping the level of like what people can do, because people can do what he's done. It's the backstory, and I'll stand on this forever. It's everything that has led us to know who this kid is, that people are like, this guy is not natural for sure. I can't put this guy and Julius in the same boat whatsoever. right? And I know how all the steroids and all the peptides and all the SARMs actually work. I know what that would actually do. So it's like, oh, you could just go on like MK677. What, get water in and eat a lot of food? What do you, sorry. I was about to be like, hold up. But then you drop the turn coach. Yeah, right, exactly. 100% agree. Still trying to figure out shit. Exactly. Farhat may be natural, possibly. If he isn't, really don't care. And that's the thing, too. So, and so, someone made a comment today, and I was like, you know what? That's, I think it was a Twig dude, the analog Twig. It was basically like, I'm all for calling out people who are calling out the fake natties. If you're saying like, yo, I achieved this physique on, on just my hard work and dedication, and you can achieve this physique too by just doing my workouts and taking these supplements. Meanwhile, you're blasting gear. Yeah, call those people out. But also, I didn't think of this until he said that. It's also like, if you're using steroids, if you're lying about your natural status and saying that you built the physique that you built, and now you're a coach because you should coach because you have the knowledge because you did it to your body. It's like, that's also included in the call out the fake natties who are selling bullshit, right? Hussein doesn't look like his photos. That's why he puts, right. It's the same one. Like, I need to scroll. How many people are kind of agreeing with me on this? Like I'm gonna go read some more comments up top, but like, start commenting right now. I want you guys to know what I've explained. Do you kind of see my perspective on, and like my reasons of why I believe that he's natural? Does that make a little more sense if you kind of think about it that way? Like, again, I'm not here to change minds. I'm here to give another perspective, right? And perspective shouldn't be something that's judged on. Like, until, if I think that this is, it shouldn't be like, oh yeah, you're definitely grifting. And I think that's the thing too. There's too much emotion that's tied to these opinions. It's like, if I don't believe your opinion, it doesn't mean that you're a different or bad person, or your knowledge is. It's almost like when my kid tries to play, she tries to be a magician, and she'll obviously put something in her hand, right? She'll be like, she'll be like, all right, daddy, where's that? And I'm like, and she pulls her hands out. I'm like, it's right there, right? But like, if she left her hand behind her back, I could guess, but I would never know. So it doesn't mean that, and she never told me. I would never know. So it doesn't mean that somebody's knowledge or expertise is knocked down because their opinion on the matter. If they have a proper opinion that makes sense, then you kind of got to, you got to kind of listen to the reasonings. It was just blindly like, I'll get on the reasons why, Greg's getting a lot of backlash on this, but let me see. Drama since it sells, of course. If you were his coach, would you train him naturally enhanced? I train him naturally, 100%. When I coach anybody, it's not like, hey man, you want to do some steroids now? It's like, no, it's like, first of all, I believe, here's my opinion when it comes to all things all enhancements. I'm talking like steroids, SARMs, peptides, GLPs, all of it. My belief is this: go ahead and do what you want to do, but you need to have the discipline already instilled in you. You need proper discipline, training discipline, right? If you're going to the gym and you're training hard and working hard already, great. If you're a nutrition and you're working at nutrition, prepping, you got discipline, great. You're doing your cardio, all this stuff, cool. You want to start experimenting with some things and you're at the ripe age, cool, right? Let the enhancement enhance your hard work. Don't let your enhancement replace hard work. So when it comes to people that are coming in, it's like, let's see what you can actually do on your own. And then let's go as far as we possibly can. Because when you're with somebody, like when you're with a coach like myself, I'll say like myself, I'm going to see what we can get out of you completely natural. Because the problem is like when people go and train, the reason why most people don't reach their natural limit is because there's really not someone there to continue to push them to that limit. When we train ourselves, it's anyone I've trained before, even myself, you might train as hard as you possibly think you can train, but a second you have somebody around that kind of gives you that extra boost of motivation, whether it's you going there and there's a girl that you know likes you, or there's something that you're trying to get to, or you're in a group with friends, or you have a coach, or whatever it is, it pushes you further and further and further. So majority of people that don't make reach their fitness goals or sort of their genetic limit is because there's someone not really there like holding them accountable to make sure that when they're in the gym training, when they're doing the et cetera, they're maxing out as much as they can. That doesn't mean that they're maxing out one maxes. I'm saying that they're consistently pushing themselves over and over and over again, right? So if I was coaching Hussein, I believe that I get Hussein to look exactly the way he looks. Probably better because he had legs. He'd be training his legs. Period. I'm like, Hussein, you're doing legs twice a week. You only do chest twice a week. You can do your chest once a week. Do chest once a week. Do legs twice a week. Shit, maybe 4. That dude wears, anybody that wears tank tops and jogging pants 24/7, and those jogging pants look like hammer pants because they're so baggy. I'm saying, right? We can't be like, yeah, he's on steroids for sure. It's like dude is slipping through cracks and getting stuck at his waist. Sorry. Where do you drop in Fortnite? I know. Jeff made a great response in this both. Jeff Cavalier. I watched Jeff Cavalier's video yesterday. I was like, Jeff did a classic, turn his chair on, bam, sat on that thing and spit some game. That guy, man. Unk. I guess we're all unks. Train hard and eat clean, guys. Yeah, man. That has never gotten older. It's still funny. So for someone like Michael Hearn, who everyone knows is a liar about being natural, but has a long history of fitness training, do you think he has credibility as a coach? I would. So here's I don't know how he coaches. I know this. Like, I know that Michael Hearn, based on his long history of what he's done, like a guy like Michael Hearn has to have gems of what got him to where he got to, right? Because when it comes down to it, it's like when you look at a guy on steroids or not, and they have a unbelievable physique, and they've been able to have this physique for years, there's you have to respect that. You have, that's why I count on Mike here and there, but you have to respect some of the things. Like now, when some people, like what I would say this, some things that Mike says, he kind of makes out that his way is like the way sometimes, right? When people do that, that's when for me I'm like, you have to be able to be an open book in terms of other training modalities or etc. Not your way is the truth in the life kind of thing. But 100%, I'd be an absolute fool to say Michael Hearn doesn't have credibility when it comes to coaching. I think he has a long history of knowledge in the game for that many years to be able to do that to his physique. And if anything, I'd be like, yo, hey, Mike, behind closed doors, what's your stack? Because you look healthy as hell. Like, let's be serious. Most people are like, man, he's a liar, whatever. And yeah, he is, right? Because he's not saying he's natural or not. But I'd be damned to be like, yo, Mike, you do us all a favor if you unleash your fountain of youth stack, because who's a Johnson dude? The Brian Johnson, not Liver King, but the Brian Johnson who spent millions of dollars had got shit on Michael Hearn. 99% of men probably want to look like Michael Hearn at Michael Hearn's age. Probably right now too. So for me, it's like, Mike, I think it's better if you just say that you're not natural and let everyone know what you're taking, so we can all look like you in your 50s. That's all I'm saying about Mike. Where we at? Let's keep going here. Shreve, who's calling me Shreve, man? Zion, what's good, man? Just call me just by the last name. You might know me. It's a joke. I'm trying to find some information on training and diverticulitis. Oh my god, my brother. It's just funny. The only reason why I know about that is my brother actually has it. Which is pretty funny. I was told I can't lift weights anymore. What? Dog, sometimes the DOCs say some stuff. Get in my DMs, man, and we'll have a chat. Dead serious. Johnny, I think my email's in there, but anything, Johnny at johnnyshreve.com. Let's keep going here. Duck eggs, yeah, right? I do think Jeff Nipples was in on the whole thing. Not at all. No. Jeff, not even close. Jeff is like, no, no. Jeff right now is probably no. Sorry, Jeff. I believe Jeff right now is having a panic attack. Sorry. There's some people that I know that could probably handle a lot of the backlash. In like for instance, like I believe Greg, it does not really care at all about the backlash about what's happening right now, and not because you guys are like it's because the ones who don't like him are like yeah because he's a snake old piece of shit. I think it's because like he got kind of what he wanted in a sense from it. Like he's like when you think about it, the dude. Like the funny thing is about Greg's position. This is why a lot of you guys don't really understand some of the background stuff with myself, Greg. There's like let me just comment first. Vegan Gaines said he's now on the gear. Suspect he's been on it for a while. Vegan Gaines said he's been on gear. Hey, guys, I'm on 100 milligrams of test. I'm pretty sure I've told you. You guys can go back in videos. I've literally said it. You can literally track. You can go back every video just in case anyone's like, someone made a comment like, you're looking pretty big. I'm like, really? But go look at all my videos. You can see exactly when I started because I actually announce it, right? Because I get to the point where it's like, for me, it's like, I know I don't have to tell you guys anything, but it's like, it's also when it comes down to it, for me, it's part of the territory, right? I decided to put myself out on a platform where anybody can have their opinion about me. So I think it's just easier for me to be like, hey, if I do something that's going to be probably questioned down the road, I might as well just say it now before I got to make a video. It's like, oh, guys, by the way, like 2 years ago, and then I got to do that shit, and then you lose credibility. So for me, it's like, it's easy to be like, hey, guys, by the way, from 2021, when I finished until just this year, I got on, started 50 milligrams of test, and then went up to 100. Went from 80 to 100, 50, 80, 100. And that's it. And I'm very surprised. I'm not surprised anymore, but I'm surprised at the same time. Because right now, even I've said this a billion times with some of my clients, and I'm like, I wish I would have known how my body would have responded to steroids now. Because I would have done 30 times the amount when I was a bodybuilder. Dead serious. Yeah. Thank you for always being. I appreciate. Man, I'm just trying, man. What do we got here, bruh? The shade, beyond the horizon. Someone in there. I gotta see that. I wouldn't be surprised if Hussein's coaching and programs is just Greg using Hussein's AI. I don't think so. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I can tell you right now. I can tell you this. Don't be surprised. There's a lot of coaches out there that don't coach, right? When people say like, "Yeah, man, I got 1,000, I got hundreds of clients," it's like fucking insane. Hundreds of clients, eh? And you got time? Get the fuck out of here, right? Like that's just ridiculous. But also like my thing is like too is like I when it comes to him coaching, that to me is like a slap in the face. That bugs me. But again, only fools can be fooled by fools. So if you're getting, I mean, he's probably selling coaching plans to little kids. You're like, I can be like him, and it's like, nah, what's he giving you? Unfortunately, when it comes to that guy, I also do have experience with a client of mine that had coaching from him, and it just wasn't good. It was not good. It was not good at all. It was just exactly what I probably thought it would be. But I'll kind of keep that to myself a little bit. You guys can kind of guess. It was terrible. Regardless, Johnny, hope all is being well since last time interacted. Oh, what's up, man? Thank you for the reaching out. I hope you the other day stays open in the call in the near future. 100%. I keep crushing it. Appreciate you guys. I think O'Hearn does it a lot of cosmetics. Yeah, I think a lot cosmetics meaning like Botox. I don't think he does. I don't think more than that. He's not getting lip filler. That'd be weird. I know he wears makeup. Then like and if a dude wants to wear a cover up, let him wear a cover up, man. Like women do it. And if you want to like you got some botches on your face, you put it on, man. You go right ahead. Just go for that. Does it affect your mental mood after 2 years? Does it affect your mental? Does what coming off or going back on? Not at all. So the only reason why if this is the question I'm answering, if that was a question towards this, the only way that I would say, not only way, but when your mental starts being affected by steroid use, it's the large amounts and then coming off and a crash. That's usually what kind of does it when it with your mental health. It's abusing it and then coming off, and then all of a sudden that, right? So when you're doing HRT, no, most of the time when people go on HRT, it's because of some of those symptoms, right? My symptoms weren't. I would say mood. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I can say that. I'll be open to say that. My symptoms were mood for sure. In terms of like being, I would say I was doing way more managing my overall mood in terms of like being like in the middle. Again, guys, borderline personality disorder, something that I deal with on a daily and I have a therapist with. So I definitely noticed that when I was off, slowly that was starting to be something that was a little more like a little more tough to manage. And then obviously low T, then obviously reptile stuff, blah blah blah. Being honest, that's why you get on it. And I feel great. Thank you. Another picture. Johnny physique looks crazy though. Appreciate it. Here's a secret. Here's a secret to all of this, and I sort of this is what I've been noticing from myself being on again. But like TRT, like actually from a doctor before I did like a TRT dose back in the day, like during COVID, and that's my first that was my first experience with like lower doses having great effects. But I did not think it would be like this. In terms of like being able to sustain the muscle that I have. I'm only I was like 208 and like between 208 210 when I was only on 50 or then I went to 80, then to 100, like 80 100. I went up like 10 pounds, which is like crazy. So it does, and that just kind of showed me like, yeah, definitely hyper responder, and definitely did not need grams of gear back when I was competing, like at all. Absolutely not. Did Jeff not think about worst case scenarios making that vid with Hussain? It seems like a smart guy. I see that's a thing too. Like you have to be calculated in this game because I am. Like, put it this way. That is a very great question. And someone like Jeff probably thought about it, and he probably weighed the pros and the cons. Now, here's the thing that you guys don't see actually, right? You guys see the backlash of what's happening publicly, right? You guys go and see the comments like, oh man, Greg's getting eaten up, or like, oh man, Jeff's comment section, oh fuck, that's terrible. But then you guys don't see their Shopify. This is like I'm not bragging about it because my Shopify ain't getting shit from this, but it's not. But when it comes down to it, like there's a calculated risk that's happening. I make a video, and let's be serious, guys. Let's be serious. In a few weeks, this will all be done over with. All of it. Remember the whole thing with Jeff and Big Mike? Like Big Mike is over. It's over for him. That's it, man. Everyone went over there and just did everything they could, just take whatever, and it's like, just give it time. It'll wash through. Why? Because when it comes down to it, drama sells. Drama sells. Right? Drama sells. So, I think that Jeff probably had a clue. He probably thought about it, but he also probably, and this is me speculating, he also probably didn't think that this would happen either, right? I don't think Jeff was like, Jeff was probably like, you know what, man, people probably think he's fake, but I think, Jeff probably thinks, whatever. And he's like, yeah, don't think that bad, right? As long as I give proper science, because I got my audience trust me and my science, and I'm very thorough with it. So I'll make a nice video that will show everybody, and once they see this really done video on all the reasons why X, Y, and Z, and then you put it out, and then it's like, oh shit, I didn't go the way I wanted to. It sucks. People are really hating me right now, but my Shopify looks nice. Like, that's what you guys don't see. You know what I mean? Like, Greg just bought another. I think got some of my buddies the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, Greg got a Ferrari." I'm like, "He did?" He's like, "Yeah." It's like it's better than the other car I got. The whatever the car he has. I'm like, "Did he sell the other one?" He's like, "No, I kept it." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Well, that's dope." It's like it's dude's mind of the car. You know what I mean? Like if you're one of those guys and you're like, "Man, the comment section is really killing me right now." Oh, I'm depressed for a second. Just get in your car and turn it on and go for a drive, and you're not thinking about this whatsoever. So I think that's the thing too, is that I think most people when this kind of thing happens, they feel betrayed, etc. There's a part, and something I know about, especially with VPDs. It's one of those like, I want you to feel my pain. Like I don't like I'm hurt, and I want you to I want something to happen to you because you hurt me, you misled me, you betrayed me, and you no longer need to be here anymore. You know what I mean? It's that kind of like response that I know very well of. It's a very black and white, like, how dare you cancel the guy? It's like cancel means like, what do you mean by cancel? You mean like cancel like you don't want him ever to make money ever again? Like, did it hurt that bad that you want the person to hurt that bad? That's the kind of thing I think this is me literally speaking to myself. Literally. So that's something I think I always kind of question. It's like some of these guys that are on here really truly think that this is going to affect their lives in a way where it's going to change them. And there's calculated risks that these guys are all taking. And even for myself, going on here and going live, knowing that I could probably say something like, "Oh, everybody saw that shit." Right? So I know that I'm taking a risk coming on here. Now, this is a little riskier because I can either see a comment like not answer it, or I can say something out of line, out of pocket, and be like, "Oh, frig." Oh, right. So there's always calculated risks we take, but we're all taking those calculated risks for a few. I'm being honest. Here's me being very blunt, very honest. I was like, man, I gotta do a video this week. I'm dead serious. And I'm like, and I gotta do a bunch of other videos for my Instagram, and my, and other things. So I got a bunch of content I gotta make outside of YouTube. And I'm like, man, you know what? Stuff's pretty hot still. I'll come on here and chat about this, and this is pretty good. I want to actually give my opinion a little more, and this is easier than doing a whole video that I have to edit it after. I'm being honest, right? Because when it comes down to, we're all doing this for views. It's just like we trade views for value. I think that's what it is. That's how I look at it. That's why I don't put out as much as I did before, and that's why I don't put out just any old thing anyway. So if I'm gonna put something out, it's like I'm gonna trade a view for value. I hope to give you something out of this, and and that be the thing, right? I feel like Greg is the DJ Academics of social media fitness. Greg Lighting is the best. Greg Lighting is the crazy thing is that people here would laugh at that way more than anything else. Greg Lighting is epic. It's epic because it's not gaslighting. We know what gaslighting is. Greg Lighting is whoever made that up. See, that's what I'm saying. If you guys were here earlier when we were chatting, I think that you guys missed when I was like, there's got to be, famous trolls that make comments that are like epic. Because Greg Lighting, because if Greg hears about that, that's going on a t-shirt and you're making nothing. So if I were you, I would be. I listened to this thing of the day on. It was one of those things. It was a reel. That sounded so old. I didn't mean to say that it sounded old. There's a reels about business. And it's like, if you want to make some money, it's like you're either the consumer or you're making money, yada, yada. But it's like, it was basically, what I'm going to tell you. Go and get yourself, go to print, whatever it is, print on demand or whatever, go get some t-shirts that says Greg Lighting. And make those t-shirts because Greg's going to make those t-shirts. If I was Greg and I heard that, I make those t-shirts. I'd be like, ah, man, that's hilarious. Greg Lighting's going out with 1 in a million. Because 1 in a million was something that he said that was like, yeah, right, 1 in a million, stupid. Yeah, right. And he's like, aha, perfect. 1 in a million. And now he says it all the time. And people are buying his 1 in a million shirts. So whoever said Greg Lighting out there needs to go get off this fucking chat right now and go talk to somebody who knows, Chat GPT. How do I create my whatever Greg Lighting business on a t-shirt? AKI does as Batman. Using value as a baseline, do you think what Greg and Farhat have done to his community provides value? This no. That not at all. That to me, no. That's an easy no. I think that now again, here's the thing too. Value isn't for me to decide either. Now, when I talk about like in a general in terms of like fitness value, I think that a lot of things Greg puts out, I think all things Greg puts out has value. And I can't say it doesn't because his views say otherwise, right? So so I would like, you'd have to kind of look at that way, right? Now, when it comes to the Greg and that video, that whole thing, I think that gives no value at all. That whole video, that whole prank, zero value. We didn't learn anything about that. And I said that in the video. I made a point of that. You're trying to make a point when people already made a mind up. That's useless. Absolutely useless. No one learned anything. We learned nothing there. You know what I mean? At least like if you get like some drama at the end of it, there might be a message that's in there at least. The algorithm would love a video like how to pose like Hussain, and you could. Ooh, that is good, man. I know all of them. I know all of the tricks to make yourself look amazing in pictures. And I think when you know that, you're like, that's actually a funny thing. And this really made me old the other day. And I just learned this, so you guys can probably start calling me Uncle after this. I was at a barbecue, and this kid was taking pictures of all of us like this. He's like, he's taking pictures of us. He's like, yeah, and he's like, we're like, hey man, jump in the picture. And homeboy went like this, and was like that, and we're like, yo, turn the camera. And I was like, yo, dude, hold on. He's young. Let him cook. And he went click, and he came back around with the perfect picture. I'm like, how'd you do that? And he's like, yeah, you just got to put on photo in like 0.5, and you can take a dope picture with the better part of the camera. I was like, oh, and I've been doing it ever since. Literally. Like, let's just show you right now. So it's like, we got this right here. Look, everyone, we're gonna do a photo together. I'm gonna like this. And you use the up and down volume. Boom. Look at his picture's dope. Anyway, so yeah, I would actually do the video. Appreciate that, Jebs. I really do. I will actually do that. I saw CFL. I'm running back. My name is Jason. I'm getting in tune with the CFL. You're getting in tune with it? Are you Canadian? Are you a running back in Canada? Or are you in the States? You're kind of getting in tune with the CFL. Shoe my John. There you go. Why do so many people say Greg and my Doucette? It's like saying I'm shaving my Johnny. I think so. I missed a lot. I missed that. I missed what that. I know it's everyone says it. Greg and my Doucette, shaving my Johnny, miking my Israel or something like that. I don't know. I don't know where it came from, but even the jerseys are denim and CFL. Yo, man, get off the CFL, man. All right. I think Greg's popular enough. He doesn't think he needs credibility anymore because he knows. Let's talk credibility. Let's actually talk credibility. When it comes to credibility, what are we saying credibility is in terms of like when it comes to Greg talking about steroids, SARMs, supplements, nutrition, training, biking, bodybuilding, dieting, meals, he has a credibility. In his so like for me, like if like I said, when it comes to me judging people, I judge the character, like them as a they're what are they doing online and whatnot. Greg has you can hate him if you want to. Greg has all the credibility, right? He has credibility. He doesn't put out stuff that is going to tell you, oh yeah, if he's not going to like. Has he told you to do a stupid workout before, right? And these are things that I have to be a critical thinker for myself, right? Has Greg said this diet works and it doesn't? No, we can now look. What about Turk? Okay, cool. If Turk didn't work, right? If the Turk Crescent that he has, the actual one from Uzbekistan, blah blah blah, if that didn't have any effect on anybody in a way that made that person feel like they're being enhanced in any way, shape, or form, and he's doing a money back guarantee type thing, I can guarantee you that we would know about it. There would be a foolish amount of people suing the shit out of Greg if Greg was selling something that doesn't work at all. Right? That's the thing when it comes to like losing credibility. Here's where I know he lost credibility. And it was a pivotal moment in his career when the first Turk came out and everyone put the Turk out at the same time. Him, more Derek replacement ace, blah blah blah. Greg, when it came out and someone came like, oh, by the way, that's actually insect steroid, whatever it was, and doesn't really work. If Greg would have taken care of that situation almost as much as what's his, if Greg copied more Derek, none of you guys would be questioning testosterone the way you guys do with Greg, because Derek is still selling the same kind of testosterone, and Derek was still selling fake stuff too, as well as I think Raw Nutrition and a bunch of other companies. They were all selling stuff that was fake. And instead of, when it came out, instead of Greg being like, oh, shoot, Greg was like, it worked for me. I remember that because I remember exactly how it happened. I'm like, oh, that is not going to be a good look. You need to just shut up and don't say anything else about this. Like, apologize in a way that it's like, whatever. So I might even speculate. I might think that the reason why Greg didn't take the same route that Derek did is because those two don't like each other. So I think I think that was like, I'm not going to do what he did. I'm going to do what I did. And he's like, oh shit. So, let's see. Let me just, say my Sulek, more like shreddability. Am I right, guys? See me and my panda. Nice. Florida LOL. I have a friend who made it to the Alouettes. Awesome, man. I'm sorry. I try to keep it straight. Right, bad. I made a joke with the CFL the other day, and I'm like, the CFL would have been freaking dope to play in, 100%. I will 100% say I would have rather have. I can't say that now. I can't say that I would rather have went. If it actually did happen when I was supposed to, I would have enjoyed it and would have loved that path in my life. So as much as I kind of clown on CFL here and there, it's a freaking amazing league, and it's hard. It's super hard. All Greg did was point out that topography of drama princesses kids while entertaining fans, and his point got proven. He doesn't need to do these vids. Adam, I don't know who you are, buddy, but Greg, I was at Greg's a couple months ago, and it's like he doesn't need to do these. Like he doesn't need to do these at all. Greg is good. Like when I say Greg is good, like Greg is good. In terms of like he's good. Like if he was like, oh man, I'm not doing anything. He can literally live. If he just sold, he could give his companies away. He can give HCL team like, Eric, my son, enjoy the gifts. Take this burden off of me, and he'd be good forever. Right? Like that's so yeah, like when it comes down to it. Thank you for reminding me. I was gonna make that point. You guys have to understand that Greg doesn't, and I'm saying Greg, I'm saying a lot of people in this on this platform, because again, I'll give you guys some back end stuff to this. If you work, you can see some people who've worked against the grain when it comes to YouTube and growth. I'm one of the guys who worked against the grain. What does that mean? It means that I didn't obey the algorithm, right? You don't think the algorithm tells me when drama videos do better than other videos? Like, drama videos make you more money and attraction overall. They've turned into reaction style videos. Reaction style videos are the best type of videos to do to get more people in. They're the best way to make you to kind of give you that authority figure, right? That's why you do them, right? They cause controversy and they get a lot of views. So the only reason why Greg went off the way he did is because it was Greg's a Greg. I say Greg's a money guy. Greg is not a money guy. Greg is a math guy. There's a big difference. It's a big difference. Greg is a math guy. I can guarantee the cars he has a plan that at one point here before him, those things are going to make a bunch of money. But he's a math guy. So when he's doing these videos and it's like, and I've done it before, I'm like, hey guys, what would you rather see? And I'd be like, drama video, react to something, training video, yada yada. And you guys, and the calls would be like, training videos, man. We love when you make training videos. We love when you say, the how to's, yada yada yadas. And then it's like, all right, cool. And I put out and it's like subpar views, and I do a video on Wes Watson. It's like, oh, what do you guys really like? So Greg went the direction that he was supposed to go, and he'd be dumb not to. And also, his views, his subscriptions, his subscriber numbers have also corrected him as well too. Like it's correct, 100%. So he's doing exactly what the platform is saying will get him, give him a great career with this. So when it comes down to it, he's giving his fans what they want, and he's giving the viewers what they want. And he's damn well giving YouTube what they want, because all platforms reward the person who can keep you guys on as long as possible. That's what it is. Like, it's like when people say it's a free platform, it's not a free platform. Like I'm somebody's product. It's not free. You guys think it's free because you can watch, maybe you have the premium subscription. It's not free, right? You're giving something away for this. And your time, your energy, all of this. It's all one big loop. And if we can keep you guys on long for our own reasons, because if I keep you on long, then they're going to send me more they're going to send me more people. That's how this whole thing works. You guys want to get the back end? One day I'll open this thing up and you guys can see how it works. But if I want to be rewarded for a video and I want to see more people on this channel, I need to bang out 3 areas. I need my what do you call it? I need my title, my thumbnails to be good. I need my views to be good, and I also need my retention to be high. I need all those things to be good in an earlier part of my video, and then that video will do a really, really, really good, right? If it doesn't, it gets 0 views. And then you try and follow that same kind of system over and over and over and over and over again. So if I do a video and it's like Wes Watson and whatever got 100,000 views or whatever, then I'd be a fool to not do that video. That's why John Bravo is very selective of the videos that he does, because the algorithm's saying do these videos, and if you do a fitness video and that fitness video gets like a quarter of the views of the other videos we've been doing, then old algorithms gonna be like, oh, sorry, man, you can keep you on there as long as you possibly could, so we're gonna go somewhere else right now. It's kind of how it works, which is kind of shitty. Anything you can buy, you can find for free. Work a diet, boom, results. People make this. It's like that's another thing too, which is I gotta go against that too. It is easy. It's not rocket science, but when the easy answer is buried in a bunch of noise and all the easy answers kind of look alike, it's not that easy for people to just come on YouTube and be like, how to lose weight. All right, cool. How to lose weight. Click. And it's like, what? Don't do this. Do this. Don't do that. Do this. Don't do this. This diet's that. The best diet's for this one. Don't do this diet. It's like, how you, so like, I understand it might sound like it's not rocket science, but like getting to the answer is damn near impossible these days, because you have You have everybody looks really good who's selling something, myself included. Thank you. And then it's like, how do I believe that guy, man? Like me, behind me, I have my book, my degree, my national championship trophy. I have the Mass Olympia top 5. It's like behind me is like, hey guys, credibility, right? Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. And to be honest, I could be absolute bullshitter. And then I have 600,000 subscribers and people are watching and stuff. And they could be doing all the wrong things. Fortunately, I'm not a bullshitter. So when you do come to the channel, you actually do get value. And I'm not a person that's going to just chase views and everything else. But again, they're not wrong for doing that. So Greg is like, the thing is like when we judge a person for doing what they're being rewarded to do in a sense, but also like it would be different if he wasn't getting any views. Like it would be different if he did a video and it got no views. Like back in the day when me and Greg had our a little feud, me separated. Sounds so dumb. There was something that happened, and I remember there was a video that I commented about that I thought was in poor taste, and it was about Remington James. And I was on the phone with Greg. I'm like, yo, Greg, I'm like, yo, this video, I think that video was an L. That's not a good video. And he sends me a screenshot. He's like, yeah, are you sure? And he sent me a screenshot, and it was like a screenshot of like Shopify, and it was like his numbers were like bam. And at that moment, I was like, dude, it's not all about the whatever, this and that and the other. Now looking back at it, I'm like, that's smart business. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's smart business. It would be dumb for him not to follow the same recipe that's enabled him to have millions of dollars. And it's not like he's like out there, scam people to get millions of bucks. The guy's working. That's one of the hardest working people I know on this platform, hands down. That guy is on his. I asked him a few, like, I'm like, yo, how do you find your videos? Like, you got a team? You got this? Now he's like, I am on YouTube scouting. He's just sitting there watching, and he finds a video, click. He's the one doing that work. So, when it comes down to it, you can't knock someone for doing what they're supposed to do. Right? Now, if they're like actually being like scamming, lying, liver king pieces of, or V-shred losers, yeah, 100%, 100%. He laughs to the bank. He wins while fitness industry as a whole loses. This is so much more than just Greg rage baiting. Yeah, that's one of the points I made, and when I was talking to him, like, yo, dude, like, people don't like you. Like, some people, like, since a large majority of people don't like you, a large majority of people do like you. But the ones that don't like you have a lot of reasons to not like you, and they especially don't like somebody who's winning big. Like, if you're like, put it this way, Chris Bumstead's winning big, but no one's like, man, F that guy, right? Because he's putting out content that's like, there's nothing controversial, right? If Chris Bumstead started making videos that were calling out a bunch of people's favorite YouTubers, right? Greg calls out someone that has a YouTuber that has millions of subscribers. So that one person has millions of subscribers really likes that subscriber that he called out. He's got a bunch of haters now from that, and he's making bank on it. So it's like, yeah, you got like a double whammy on this. People don't like you because of whatever. They don't like you because you're actually winning in the most way, right? In the financial way. He's winning all. I say right now he's winning all. He's got a good girl. He's got how he's happy, blah, blah, blah. I know that. He's winning, right? I think what would make it more fun for people would be if you treat this industry like wrestling. Like, I think it would clarify a lot of things. Here's something I actually want to do. I was actually going to do this actual video, but I was like, I don't know if this video will get any views at all if I do it as a standalone. But one thing is, number one, treat the fitness industry like wrestling, like WWE, like AEW, treat it like that. And then the drama is like actually fun, and then you're not like, emotionally attached. Because those who are wrestling fans are not like, like, oh my god, I freaking hate the guy. You know, I hate John Cena's enemy. Like, you don't give a shit. You know, you're like, it's entertaining. I'm gonna go watch it, right? Uh, yeah, there's a lot of ways to win without looking at corporate shrill. But again, when you look at this, like when you look at it in this industry in itself, it's like I think we're putting too much. There's too much of a high standard in terms of like what you're expecting coming from a person that can just pick up a camera and make content. Like there's no regulating in this entire industry. Anybody like Hussain can just look pretty good and start coaching and say I'm an authority in this industry. People can, you know, you're fooled by someone who has a degree. You know, it's in this industry itself. It's that there's too many things that allow anybody to be a quote unquote authority figure or a leader in the industry. So it's like, again, if you look at it this like wrestling, you're probably less moved emotionally by it. Secondly, there's an experiment I want to try and do, and you guys can be like, try it or not. Here's the rules. What I was gonna say is, for those people who are natty or not fanatics, I want you to find a YouTuber that you believe is a fake natty, or whatever, right? Find a quote unquote fake natty, and I want you to follow this fake natty's like first of all, if the fake natty, if you believe the fake natty, or just like a really good looking dude, whatever, has a fitness channel, if watch him for a bit, or her, whatever, him, and if he resonates with you in any way, like if you hear what he says sounds pretty good, his workouts look pretty good, you know, and he's not telling you that to train like him and look like him. If he's not saying that kind of stuff, follow this guy for a week. Do his training plan, listen to what he says about training and nutrition and fitness or whatever, and just see what happens. See it at the end of the week, right? Take away the judgment of this guy's a fake natty. Now, I'm not saying what he's saying because he's disqualified himself in this entire this whole thing. But anybody that you think is a fake natty who has not came out and said that they're a fake natty, but also hasn't said that their physique is the result of whatever in supplements, you know, they're obviously not showing deceitful signs. Without judgment, follow this person for a week. Do their training plan, do their, you know, do one of the workouts they suggest, listen to what they say about training and nutrition, whatnot, and just take that in and see what happens after a week. The whole goal of this thing isn't necessarily like a, you know, open yourself up to fake natties. Is to take away the barricade that's stopping you from taking in what this person might have to say that might actually have value. That's how I look at it. Try it. You don't have to. Just try it. I'm gonna try it. But then I'm gonna speculate either. But I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try somebody. I'm gonna find somebody that I'm like, hey, I think this guy looks really good. If he looks like he's a fake natty, that's what qualifies a person. If they look like they're a fake natty, do that. I don't know. I can't tell you about that one, man. I'm not educated into the C-kill stack. Oh, C-kill stack. Oh, anyway, I'm your guy, full gains. There you go. What up? All right, what's up? If someone beat John Cena, then that person is gonna gather so many hate, and the person have to turn heel. W example. Exactly. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna read a couple comments, then we're gonna kind of wrap this thing up. It went far beyond what I thought. Either way, did I miss anything? Actually, you know what? Before I go, I'll read up here. Any comments I might have missed up top, just comment there. I'll do the next like 10 comments, and then I gotta create some content. But thank you guys for saving me a bunch of editing. Oh, Cody, what'd you say? The Oh, much like that's all great. That's all good, man. Um, Kid has below average genetics, hops on gear. Let's be real. There's no BS. You can say to validate him being natty. What do you say? Oh, okay. Let's be real. There's no BS. You can say to validate him, blah blah blah. All right, like I said, hey, I'm not here to convince you. That's my opinion, and I respect yours too. If you say this, I'll say this. In order to be successful on YouTube, generally you already have to have some kind of name. Um, I can't just start a channel and be successful, even if I had all the knowledge in the world. That is not right. That is very false. Just because I had an IFBB Pro card, it didn't that didn't that wasn't the thing that made this anything, right? I already had a channel for years. What I did was I changed my strategy in a period of time where people were stuck at home, given money from the government, and told to binge watch YouTube. But there are a lot of samples. There are a lot of cases where if you go on YouTube and you do it properly, you can actually make a career out of this. The thing is people don't realize how much work it takes, right? It's a lot of work. It's not the case that you need to have a name. It's people really underestimate how much work it takes to run an actual YouTube channel as a career. When I tell people like, hey, what do you do for a living, Johnny? Like, I have a YouTube channel and I do this and I do this and I do this. I'm like, to be able to say that you do this for this is a kind of a full-time thing. There's a lot of work that goes into this. A lot of work that people don't have and that have time to do, or even the money to do either. Because I had to start off from like ground zero with this, and that was a struggle. What's it look like working out with elite level athletes versus all the fake 90 people? What's the difference? The difference I would say is just like working with a pure athlete. You could see in movement, in coordination, and coachability, all around athleticism. Like you could see it. Like like training with an athlete or training with somebody who just like went on gear is like there's a massive difference. I was training with my clients today, and she's in her late 30s. She played basketball in university, and I was putting her through a functional workout today. And she's doing exercise that she's this blonde. She looks like a Barbie, and anyone walking and be like, Barbie over there, look at her working out. And then she does cleans and jerks and wall balls and shit better than everyone else in the gym. You can just see them. It's just something they naturally have when it comes to like movement, coordination, body awareness, all those things. You can. It's very easy to tell if you've been around it. Thanks for keeping it real. Hey man, appreciate you guys. How similar would they look? Oh, you mentioned it before. So okay, so there's some things like I would say you can tell. I would see some of my speculations when it comes down to it. It's like graininess, right? It's like the look that, and I think that's a lot of times why Hussein gets a lot of the. I think he's fakey is because like the graininess you see from muscle, right? Like the muscle that is like always volume. Like for me, I ate like I'm on 100 milligrams of testosterone. I normally look, even when I was flat, I looked pretty full, but like I have this kind of like foolish look to me all over the place. You know what I mean? If you had that with like graininess, like grainy, I'm talking like when someone looks like they, when they turn structure up on their editing, that structure look in person is very obvious. There's people who can be lean, and lean's one thing, but like when you're lean and grainy, I think that graininess kind of comes from the ability to have a good amount of muscle mass while being lean is a very obvious tell for me, right? That would be one of them for sure. Veins to me is like, veins is like anyone can have veins, but if you have like these veins that are like, you have striations, veins, and then grain is like thin skin, and then your muscles are volume too. It's very obvious. Yeah. Other ones just look like they just look like really good. They look like they have really good physiques. You know, they look like natural athletes look like they have really nice physiques, especially like gifted ones. They have great bodies as well too, right? Johnny, want to say hi, appreciate you, your positivity. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Let me talk your ear off. Hey, Johnny, quick question: does your race have anything to do with dieting and workout routine when you train somebody? It's a serious question. Hopefully, no. It's just something that's I would say like no, like I think there's people put a lot of I think they overcomplicate thinking that race has anything to do with how you should diet and whatnot. I think the only time that kind of makes any kind of change is if you're living in a place that has certain climate, food, etc., and it will affect the way you do things. But like it's not like, oh man, I can only, like it's not like yeah, I can I get better results when I diet on chicken instead of steak. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think it's like that. Like, if like an Asian person, or say like you eat your cultural food for dieting will make a difference. It doesn't, right? When it comes down to it, it's just your body. The outside is what looks different. Everything else in the inside is the same thing. You know what I mean? So we might look different, come from different places. When it comes down to it, we're human. We digest food the same. We eat food the same. We put food in one way, it goes the other the same. It goes through the same process, right? So yeah. Make your name do work. Love that, Cody. Hell yeah. I hope it's the end of maybe. Dude, just get to the point. Nick, you gotta be patient, my man. You came on here, dude. You tell me, man, oh man. I still respect your info though, because I made huge gains on the last bulk following your info a few years back. Natural from 2,200 to 263. Nice. So yeah, I still value your training tips. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Now officially, we have the Hall of Shame in the fitness industry. Greg, Hussein, Nippert, Julian. We shall see later. Okay, connection. It makes it easier if you're stating the name. I can acknowledge hard work. It does pay off 100%. This was great. Awesome. No. Laugh mass off. How can we make it worth your time to have more lives, videos, or more lives? I'm like more lives. Hey man, when this goes down, if it says everyone's on, you know what? Honestly, if I would actually like schedule it better, where I'm all like last minute, hey guys, come on here. I would definitely do them more often. I love doing lives, to be honest. I do. So we can make that happen. Yeah. Anyway, so guys, appreciate you guys coming again. I hope I answered some questions. I hope I made it clear. Like I said, I'm not here to change anyone's perspective, just to give you mine. And we just, try to be critical thinkers and, just go from there. So, what? Appreciate it. All right. Cool. Awesome, brother. Appreciate you guys again. Anyway, I'll be doing another video this week. Anyway, I'll be doing a training video. Training videos like that. I want you guys to help me out with those. Let me know what you want to see. I know some videos have been there about doing videos on, when you're injured, what to train, etc. But you want specific, video tutorials or critiques on certain training modalities, let me know in the comment section below on this video, or just, in the community. Anyway, till next time, guys, you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace. That was fun.